Well, yes, I mean that was special in all kinds of ways, but they're all different.
How long have you been doing the discussion?
I guess for a couple of years now. Yes.
Have you ever taken part in other discussion lists?
Actually, I don't think I have. Actually, no, not in terms of the IATEFL discussion.
It's Yahoo.
But I think our Yahoo group is a particularly good one. I think
They've just been taken over, haven't they? By someone's just taken over Yahoo. I can't remember who. Yeah.
I'm trying not to remember.
Does anybody know who's just taken over Yahoo? Somebody did. Okay, thanks. All right. So there's the first one.
Right. Okay. Fine.
Okay. Second interview. Mark, the discussion list. When did it get started? Who started it?
It started actually in about 2005. I'm not exactly sure who started it, but the first discussion I think actually involved Simon Ball, and then I think when Richard Smith became coordinator of the ReSIG, it grew quite a lot, and there were quite a lot more discussions.
So it's been going for about 7 years, but your sense is it's grown quite a lot in that 7 years.
It's been growing. I think it's been going for more than 7 years, but I think after initially being started, there wasn't a great deal of activity. There have been periods when it hasn't been as active, but I would say that it's been a lot more active in the last 5 years than it had been probably in the 2 or 3 years before that.
How would you kind of measure active? You know, when you talk about being active, what would you look for in a discussion that was active in that sense?
That's a very good question. I think that there might be various criteria in terms of the number of responses to discussions, but that shouldn't be the only indicator, because a lot of people read posts and don't contribute. They read posts, they find them interesting, they come to conferences such as this, they talk about things that they've read on the discussion, and so it's fulfilling a purpose that goes way beyond the actual dialogue that is actually there in the original posts themselves.
So your sense of being active is not necessarily defined by what you see visible on the discussion list. There's a sense that those conversations filter out.
Absolutely, very much so. Yes, certainly.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. So two, again, fairly jokey, two different sort of styles of interview. What do you notice about the difference? What did you notice about the second one in particular?
Yeah, you were really listening, and so you could contribute and say and repeat, sort of act as a mirror, and kind of to ask him to confirm what you understood.
Okay. Do you notice anything about when I did that? What effect did it have on Mark?
Yeah, well, it was a positive effect. He was happy. He was engaged in, and I'm happy that you were kind of listening.
Okay, were you happy? He seems to be laughing a lot more in the first one.
The first one I was battling against something. It was clear that the tone of the questions. It was lovely. It was
There's
lovely.
lots of face work going on.
It was lovely in terms of sort of alternative comedy.
Yeah.
In the way that you were doing it. So I found it very amusing, just looking at how skillful your adoption of kind of negative interview strategies was. But it progressively became much harder for me during that first interview to try to maintain a positive outlook.
Yeah.
Because I was increasingly being crushed by the interview.
I think one of the things for me that's important is to try and create energy in an interview, so that it's not just a case of going through questions and answers. It's trying to find some areas in the interview which are worth pursuing and giving a bit of concentration to. And if your demonstration of your listening and recovering lexis, recovering phrases that have been used, which may be key to you or key to to the person that you're being interviewed. I think part of that energy comes from being able to make decisions about what to give back in this kind of dialogic way. And this is the key, I think, to listening. Yes, it's eye contact and demonstration of body language, but it's much more interactive than that. It's much more being able to make decisions about which bits of Lexis, which phrases, which things that Mark have said are worth coming back to push and give some energy to. Any comments or comeback or challenges to that? I don't think you can really argue against the position that listening is the key element of interviewing, actually. It would be a hard argument to make. The question of what that involves and the extent to which I can involve myself, can I disclose my own views sometimes? Does that create an energy or does that get in the way? Those are a little bit more of a dilemma. And later on in the day we'll come back to what might be called discourse dilemmas. In other words, they're much more grey areas. Listening isn't a grey area, actually.
Thank you.
It's just a given.